and welcome to the Soul Material Podcast, the podcast you cheer for. I'm your man, the OGEO,
All right, it's T Mark the Street Shark.
and today your favorite podcasts are going to go a little bit more into that sneaker business talk, that clarity over popularity, as we peel back some layers and dig into just a few of our favorite indie slash regional boutique collaborations. I know there has been many done throughout the years, hundreds, at this point, thousands to be honest with you, but we don't have that much time. But given we're from the DMV area and so forth, we're going to just show just a few that were done correctly. So, T Mark the Street Shark, kick us off with what you got. What you got? Show us what you got.
All right, so yeah, we definitely want to get into some indie collaborations where they're independent artists, or sneaker boutiques throughout the country. So we want to make sure that we highlight this level of collaboration because again, that's what we do at the Soul Material Podcast. We give you that clarity over popularity. All right, so let's start off with Reebok as the brand. All right, so Reebok Classics. This is one of those collaborations where multiple boutiques got the same access to the same silhouettes, but then you got to doctor it up to the colorways to your region and tell some stories about where you're from, because we love telling stories, and then also those connections that the brands bring their stories to life. All right. So let's dive in so this is the Reebok Ventilator. All right. So this is a old collaboration, but of course these are dead stock from the Shark. All right. So this is collaboration with DC Boutique Major. All right. So major, never minor. If uh, you know what's going on. All right, got some Hexalite. We already told you about Hexalite, so so go back and look at our interview with Xavier Jones, former footwear designer over at Reebok. Gave us the scoop on Hexalite. But this is homage to the DC area, in particular cherry blossoms. So we got the cherry blossoms. So it's actually a 3M. The whole toe box is 3M. And you got your cherry blossom patterns. That's staple for DC. So there you go. There's your cherry blossoms on the sole. All right. We got a bunch of interchangeable laces. And again, showed you that major logo. All right. Here's their logo font on the interior. Boom. Um, more logo action on the inside. Whoop, there you go. And then as you can see, you got your Reebok certified tags on here, and you got the reserve. So this is how old this is. If you remember the Reebok Reserve, that's how that's how old this collaboration is. So we got our Reebok logo. So again, just not too much detail into the actual materials and all this other stuff. We're really just highlighting the storytelling that's brought to life. And again, that's a DC DMV native. This just hits home. So you want to support your local establishments, and then at the same time, I'm someone who buys DC stuff, and I wear it more when I'm out of town, because when I'm out of town, I gotta say, hey, this is where I'm from, mom. You know what I'm saying? So much homage to Major and Reebok. So this was a very detailed collaboration, but there again, more boutiques had the same silhouette. But of course, I didn't buy the New York Rangers version for a boutique in New York. I'm not from New York, and I don't like that team. But there was a Washington Capitals of the same model as well from Major. So because they always love to support the local sports teams as well. So a staple for the city, DC, cherry blossoms. All right. So yeah. So let's keep the party going with some more boutique storytelling. What's on tap from the OG?
Yeah, appreciate it, Shark. Just keeping it on the home front. Wanted to show one of the collaborations from DC Museum. You see that is the Curry One, and they did this a couple of years ago. drop 2022. The tag says January 22 when these were produced, and it just so much going on with this shoe that has a lot to do with just home. And shout out to Mo and G at the museum. Um, and shout out to Steph Curry for wearing these in the games a couple of years ago as well when they did end up winning the championship that season. But as far as the details with the shoe shark, if you know, you know. If you don't, I'm gonna tell you the colors on this shoe with the midsole represent the DC line as far as the subway. So you got Mo and G, Mo being from Uptown, G being from um, Southeast. A lot of the colors and even the extra um, laces that came with it and so forth represent just the subway line. And another cool thing that I took out as well, I took out the insoles. You can see the details of the midsole as well that they did. So again, keeping it local, um, just a great job overall representing home. And these retailed in the store for 200 because they had other additional things that they added to them. They gave you three different, I guess, lace caps at the front. You got a framed picture of the actual design of the shoe that they used on the computer. So you got the finalization when it was actually approved. And you also got a card, a thank you card from G and from Mo, just thanking you for the purchase. And again, showing you details here of showing you the store, the museum on the tab right there. And again, Mo being from Uptown finest, yellow line, the green line, orange line, so that's just what we have overall with shoes. But great collaboration. These are comfortable. You see these are worn. The bottoms, you see they have been worn, and these shows just some of the language and some of the slang of the city that has been classic and always been used. You can't see it now because there's dirt all in these joints, but I wear these joints all the time. Again, being from DC is what it is. But just wanted to show these off as one of my favorite collabs of all time. And again, one thing about having a collaboration that you like, one thing about them being comfortable and being functional. And I even bought these a couple of times and I was asked, where you get those from and why you balling those and so forth. And I'm just like, look, I'm going to enjoy them. And that's what it's all about. So, Shark, here you are with the museum, Steph Curry 1 collaboration that went semi-viral with Steph rocking these in 2022-2023 season. So, shout outs to the Golden State Warriors, to Steph Curry, and to Curry Brand, man. These were done excellently.
Nice. All
So
right.
shout out to them. And back to you, Shark. What you got for us?
All right, got that Metro accent, so we're holding down the Met. So let's keep the party going. We love our friends over at Curry Brand, so I got another Curry collaboration. So this isn't necessarily a DC brand, but they actually started, their introduction of their brand in DC. So this is the so as you can see right here, we got the Curry in DSM. So this is the Curry Cozy, Flow Cozy, but the Diet Starts Monday edition. So if anybody knows, Diet Starts Monday, yeah, it's a very popular brand. But they actually started as a store in DC where it was a lifestyle establishment, not necessarily a clothing brand. You had so it was like they were throwing parties, and it was like a transformable store where like during the day you sold a little bit of food or whatever, and then at night you can break out the bar, have retail displays up there. But it was a great spot for pop-up shots. So again, a brand that part of their origin is collaboration and really touching the consumer, and then also just making dope apparel. You know what I'm saying, and changing the game on different materials. So we love materials over the Soul Material Podcast. So so when they came out, it was a limited run. There's a Flotro 4 that's like all lime green as well. That thing was selling for like $1,000 on eBay almost. So super limited. If I'm not mistaken, there's only like 150 of these, and then there's only like 200 some of the Flotro 4. So again, rare quantities. But it's funny that these don't have a big resale value. You know what I mean? Even in its limited quality, but the other one does, and I think that the other one just was on the internet a little bit longer, and it's just like ooh, Flotro, and then again, Steph won a championship in Flotro fours, and then everyone just wanted that model. So I don't blame it. We talked about if you perform on the court, people are going to want it, but. In this, Diet Stars Monday. So let's go over a couple details. All right. So they have their moniker. Let's just go on the inside. Yesterday you said tomorrow. So they have all these sayings that go back to the brand, which is always love. There's your embroidered Diet Stars Monday cursive your logo font on the toe box of the shoe. You got your co-branded again, co-branded tongue right here with the DSM Diet Stars Monday over the Curry. Even the lace tips have the DSM with the lightning bolt, which is another logo font variants. So I just love the detail with the suede and nubuck action that we have going on. You got your earth tones, especially with that couple different shades of that olive army. It's not even fully olive green. It's more that brownish green in here. And then I actually show you the other shoe because on the inside it said something else. So these came with a second pair of laces as well, a pair of black laces. And then so on the inside, so the other one said Diet Stars Monday. The inside it says yesterday you said tomorrow, and now this one says what does that say? That says Monday. I promise. All right. It's the same thing on the insole. But yeah, we love our friends of the Curry brand. This one was a limited edition that we had to scoop. Had to copy these directly from Diet Stars Monday because there's only like 150 of them. You know what I mean? And then on the heel, you have more Diet Stars Monday logo font action going on where it's embossed in that pull tab on the heel. So there's a lot of details. Again, little mesh panel here. Just the layering of this particular shoe. And then you had showed the museum Curry ones. Well, museum had a Curry Flow cozy as well. So the cozy seems to be one of the staple collaborative models for Curry brand. With no matter who they're dealing with, they're Brandon Jennings, Tough Crowd. They just did a collaboration with the boutique leaders in Chicago. I'll show those all to you later when I get those in the mail. But they're coming. So just showing homage to some indie artists as well that are doing their thing. Diet Stars Monday collaboration with Curry Brand and Under Armour. Well executed, but super limited quantities. So the question is, resale value is not but so high on this particular model. But if they made more, would you buy them? We don't know. That's why we're having this conversation. So anyone watching this video, tell us what you think in the comments. We still got a couple more things to show, but interact with us. Let us know. What do you think? If they made more, would you have bought these? Let us know. All right. What else you got going on, OG?
Hey, I'll pass the buck to you. I'm enjoying this. This show us what you got.
All right, let's keep the party going then. Let's go up to Chicago. All right. I just told you about leaders in Chicago. Well, here's another brand that's been in the game for a little while. You know what I mean? It was more popular at the retail level nationwide when they penetrated a couple bigger stores. I'd say about 5-6 years ago. But Fashion Geek. So this is one of those. If you know, you know. Fashion Geek is a Chicago brand. All right. There's your signature. This was collaboration with who did we talk about in the past about being one of our top collaborators that does it right? Puma. All right. So he had apparel and footwear and had at least 2 seasons of collections. All right. And yeah, you'll see the themes with their rainbow font. So these are the Puma alterations. So it was more of a lifestyle shoe. I've worn these, and I don't know why. There's other colorways of this model. But every time I wear these, people are like, "What are those? Where did you get those?" Because you actually, one thing I like about this particular shoe, I'll just take you a tour on around it. Do you see a Puma logo? Do you know that these are Puma? Unless you look at the heel on the back, right? But if you're wearing jeans, you don't notice. So, and then, the dad shoe became popular. These bulky soles, popped up on all the designer shoes within the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and became the thing. So people are thinking like this is super designer or something because it's something that they've never seen before. And I was just like, nope, they're Puma and they're Fashion Geek. You know what I mean? And then I have to educate you on who Fashion Geek is. But, definitely a couple layers of materials. We got our black suede. We got some mesh. You can actually see through it a little bit. So it's very breathable. Same thing for the toe box with the mesh. And then another more nubuck wraparound. And then we got the tongue action going over here with the geek logo. You know what I mean? So again, I've worn these, but always love a good, well executed collaboration. So Fashion Geek collaborated with Puma for this one. So shout out our friends up in Chicago, and just want to see more of these things. This was not limited quantities. So some of these, but for the purists, you were buying this stuff when it came out. You know what I mean? Like I think I got these on. Yeah, I definitely got these on discount. I didn't pay the $5, but um, because I didn't know what I was getting at that time. Then I was like, "Whoa, these are way worth it." You know what I mean? So again, like I said, this was a really good slept on collaboration. And we just wanted to do an episode where we just highlight the indie boutiques and artists because in the age of the digital influence and everyone seeking the online followers and stuff like that, these are the things that we feel like are getting lost in translation or lost in the mix. So that's why we're just posing these questions about just highlighting what we like in our personal stories and connections to collaborations, but just posing the question back to our audience like, what do you think? Where are we going with this? When it comes to you know, are people, really caring about these stories that these brands are are telling? How close are you to certain brands that you would actually move when they move? I feel like there's more distance in between that of where we're at because it's just like what sometimes it's the and here's a rhetorical question, as it relates to the digital world. You ever like follow somebody that doesn't have a lot of followers, but they're funny, they have talent, and then all of a sudden, a year later, they're doing this collaboration with a celebrity or something. Like sometimes, don't maybe it's just me, but I feel a little pride, like I was there before everybody. I saw you when the background was different. You know what I mean? And then you're like almost proud of the person when they step up and collaborate with someone bigger, and then you're like, oh, you got a product? Oh, I think I want to buy that. You know what I mean? Let me support the movement. I've been there. You know what I mean? So the same thing. I'm just wondering why that doesn't translate to where we're at in the sneaker game and the culture of maybe you're just not there in the beginning long enough, I guess, to when you get to the bigger collaboration or the fashion geeks or the museum. Like we were already in the know and supporting that. So then when they had a brand collaboration, it's just like, yes, congratulations. We know that if we don't support, it doesn't happen again. You know what I'm saying? So like it's that whole keep the party going scenario. And we've told you in other episodes about relationships with retailers, how important they used to be. It's the same thing. You patronize someone's establishment and just to, give your money to the small business to help their business continue to grow because they provide a tangible service to you. So some of it is your duty to, not sit here and milk all these discounts and everything like that. Like when you're a small business, like you got to respect where they're at. So you should want to pay. Well, that's when you want to pay full price. Y'all are paying over 5 times the value to these big companies, but then want these discounts from the small businesses. It's not, you're hurting both sides of our culture here. And we just want to highlight, where things may be imbalanced, and then just pose those questions to our audience and saying, when do you take back control, of the situation? And, 'cause just like when the rise of Nike Dunks and SBs, it was just like, are y'all actually going to the skateboard shops? Are you actually supporting your local skateboard shops that actually are the backbone to underground sneaker culture? Do you not understand what skateboard shops did for the culture? Like you didn't have to be a skater to know that you needed relationships to get in those doors. So it's the same thing for the future. So let me kick it back to you, OG, just for some final thoughts as we wrap up this particular episode on indie brand collaboration.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what you were saying, Shark, the key thing that we wanted to present not only visually, but also that we're talking about right now for the guys listening audio only, is to support your local and indie brands that are doing this right. And what we have shown are again, like Shark says, the attention to details. And what Fashion Geek did, what Museum did, so forth, that they didn't have ask you at all. It was no slacking at all. So it was great details, great materials that were used, the story behind them. Everything comes full circle. So as Shark says, man, support. You have to, because these things take time, and when the time comes, like with any album drop, anything else, it's a lot that's on the line to keep things flowing and going. And that's a part of the game and a part of the hobby that Shark and I want to see continue going, because you appreciate these times once they're quote unquote gone, but why they have to be gone? What happened to have them gone or alleviated, or people go out of business and so forth? And going back to what you said as far as SB shops, I can name a couple now that are out of business, been out of business for a while now, just for that reason. Like you just said, people were just there for that SB hype only. And as we all know, dunks are now back in style, but there was a great time period where quote unquote dunks were dead. No one was going to the SB shops, and certain boutiques, and I know a few on the East Coast, were out of business within 24 months. And we talking about ones that were in business for, 10, 15 years. One of my favorite spots, I'll drop the name, Vertical Urge, that was in Cary, North Carolina, RIP to them. I would have thought that they would have went out the way that they did, but given the trend that you said, Shark, and all of a sudden after that hype band, after that bubble burst, it was, what do we do here? It couldn't keep the lights on. So that's what happened. So with that being said, I know there's a whole lot of collaborators that are extremely popular, that no matter what they do, it's going to sell out and resell and so forth. But we want to just highlight I won't say the smaller brands or the smaller indies, but give people the props when they're due and keep them in business, man. So with that being said, Shark, I love doing these clarity over popularities, because this is important to the culture, and I'm glad that we're providing something for outlets out there that's a little bit different than what you're getting every day in social media. So props to you, Shark, for wanting to do this episode, man. It means a whole lot to me, as far as always not rooting for the underdog, but keeping a balance in the game and in the hobby. And hopefully our voices will influence and inspire some folks to keep the party going on both ends evenly. Definitely.
Yeah, and just to wrap up, sentiments mutual. We both know, boutique owners, they came and went for various reasons. But when people are doing things correctly, like, don't take advantage of that. Don't vulture that. Really support it so they can get to its maximum state. We know boutique owners that have been like actually too far ahead of their curve. So, they might have done better in today's time, but they were too far ahead and people did not see it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out we've already shouted out a couple seasons ago, but shout out Rudy and over that. We had Henry down in Richmond, Virginia. That was long before round two and all those other things, like they had their spot on Broad Street and they had official accounts. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't consignment. This was like real accounts. And people didn't, really take to it, but so much, so just wanted to, really highlight that. And again, we're all about preserving the culture, and moving it forward. All right. Things don't have to stay the same. That's change is inevitable. We know this. But let's change for good. Just like our friends over at the Curry brand, we're here to change the game for good. So I think that's a good way to wrap up this particular episode. So again, just like the OG told you, we're always going to give you that clarity over popularity. That's why we're the podcast you cheer for. That's why we're the channel you cheer for. So make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube page, and go find us over on Instagram for some even more exclusive content at Soul Material. So for this episode, it's T Mark the Street Shark signing off.
And OGO. Until next time, peace to you.
Sneaker business talk. It's the Soul Material Podcast.